Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Soon to begin his Nutso Maguzzo Tour 2024 and making his way to Lawrence on May 9th for a one-night only show. Please welcome musical artist Steve Poltz. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so glad you just called it the Nutso Maguzzo Tour because you said it perfectly.
Perfect, thank you. You have such a way with words, Steve. I've kind of fallen down a rabbit hole listening to your music. Quarantine Blues was a particular favorite of mine. Where do these ideas, this inspiration come from for you?
You know, I've always loved words. My mom was an English teacher. I was really lucky to have a mom who taught English, and she demanded I get straight A's. She was very strict and a taskmaster. And she also made sure I had to practice guitar every night because I wanted to take guitar lessons. And so I owe a lot of it to her and to my dad. So, and then words are like word salad to me, and I like the way they sound together. So sometimes I stumble upon something good.
And so over the years now, you've collaborated with so many artists. Do you approach like each artist differently, or are you giving them the same kind of Steve Poltz that everyone gets?
I kind of just try to remain as true to myself as I can. So if I'm going to write a song with like Billy Strings, and if he comes over to my house to write a song or he texts me lyrics, I just try to remain true to what I'm feeling. And I sort of also try to feel like what it's like to be in their shoes as well. And I think there was an episode of Star Trek where they would touch people and they could suck into their personality. And maybe I have a little bit of that too, because if I write a song with Molly Tuttle, maybe I'm thinking more bluegrassy, or if I'm writing a song with Jewel, I might be trying to climb into her psyche. And I don't know that I'm doing it, but maybe it happens with a bit of trepidation, and also trying to keep my own self intact.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's quite the balancing act you must have to do. And do you feel that energy when you're on a live stage as well? Because I understand each show keeps getting better, in your own words. What's a live show like for you with the crowd being there?
Well, I really love my job. I love it, and so even though you have to travel a lot and stay in strange hotels, and flights are canceled, rental cars are canceled, there's traffic and all the things that come with it, that 90 minutes on stage still makes it all worthwhile. And I still believe that. So I'm always looking for something new, and maybe I'll learn a new song, or I'll have just written a new song. And I like to take chances, and the chances help me get a little bit of an adrenaline rush. And that adrenaline rush, I think, is addictive, and it keeps me young, and I'm forever in search of that adrenaline rush.
That's wonderful. I think that's a great mindset to keep around. Never stop learning. Take chances. Learn a new song. You've been doing this for years now, and it's a never-ending process in the creative field.
It is, and I'm really excited to come to Lawrence, Kansas, because I have really good memories of Lawrence. I was in a band called the Rugburns, and we were out of San Diego, and we used to always play the Bottleneck. And I remember one time we were just lazy on getting started, and for some reason our tour was starting in Lawrence, Kansas, even though we lived in San Diego. It wasn't routed like, hey, we'll have you play Phoenix and then New Mexico and have you zip up Oklahoma. No, it was starting in Lawrence, Kansas. And we were like, well, we should leave like 4 days early. Yeah, we should. And then we didn't leave. And the next day we'd go, let's go down to the beach and hang out. And we left with just enough time to get there, to get on stage, missing sound check, but to play the show at the Bottleneck. It was one of the most amazing things, because somebody would have to sleep in the band. We had to drive like 24 hours straight and take shifts sleeping while somebody drove without stopping. It was really cool. So I have good memories of Lawrence.
Well, we're thankful you're coming back now, May 9th at the Lawrence Arts Center. It's an evening with Steve Poltz and Jenna and Martin. What can people expect for this show coming up here? Hopefully you leave early enough to join us.
Yeah. I've learned since then that I got to get places. So I'll definitely get there on time. I'll probably get there the night before. That's what I've learned in all my years. If you were to ask me, what have you learned? Never count on a plane getting there day of show. You got to get there the night before. And so I'm looking forward to getting there and traipsing around Lawrence and reacquainting myself with that wonderful little hamlet you guys live in and finding a cool coffee house and then thinking about the show that night and playing some songs. So I'm kind of really excited to go to Lawrence and see you guys. And maybe I'll even get to meet you.
I want to try to make it down there May 9th. I think I'm going to be available because, like I said, you've gained a new fan since coming onto the show now. So it's definitely going to be a great show. Are you going to be playing kind of old favorites, some new songs? What can people expect?
Yeah, I'm going to run the whole gamut. Anything from the newest song I wrote to a really old song. I sort of like to read the audience and feel the vibe of the room and make it interesting and hopefully leave everybody leaving the room with a smile on their face when it's all over. Take them on a bit of a journey, tell some stories. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too, Steve. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I won't keep you any longer. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you, and I'm very excited for the show. And everybody, please get your tickets now for an evening with Steve Poltz and Jenna and Martin at lawrenceartcenter.com, and follow Steve across social media at poltz.com. Steve, once again, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It was great to talk to you from my house in Nashville where my oats are waiting for me.
All right. Have a good one.
Take her easy.